Hi Cancer, welcome to your October 2025 Tarot and Oracle reading. We're going to be asking what's coming towards you this month. If you'd like for me to pray for you, if you'd like other Cancers to pray for you as well, say hi in the comments section. Leave an emoji if you're shy like myself. It just gives us something that represents your energy. Ooh, that's exciting. It gives us something that represents your energy that we can focus on, and that's what that's for. Only love and light in this space. We have, wow, all major arcana. I'm excited to give you this reading. We're going to take some tarot too. Excuse me, some oracle cards. I'm thrown by your cards. Oh, my nose is itching. To help guide the message. And if you're feeling generous today and you like this reading, please show the algorithm by liking the video. Thank you so much. Cancer. So Cancer. October 2025, we start with the Oracle card. Universal laws and truths are now being revealed. Use this energy to create your reality. And that's an awesome message to get with these cards because we start with these energies. Now I'm going to unpack this in just a second and that will make things a lot more clear. But we start with these broad energies. 10 of Cups. This is where we all want to get. Cancer, this is alignment with your relationships. This is happiness and harmony. Oh, we have the Star card. I'm going to cover up her body a little bit because YouTube does not like naked people. The Star card is recovery. It's grace. It's like it comes after the storm. That calm after the storm of the Tower in the sequence of tarot traditionally. And this is getting your wishes granted. This is your prayers coming true. This is also kind of a celebrity card, Cancer. If you're doing anything in the limelight or where recognition might be involved, even performance, this is a great sign that you will be getting that recognition. We have the Lovers card, more naked bodies, yay! This is oftentimes a choice also involved in this, but again, another relationship-based card, and it's all about alignment with a relationship. We have another 2, which is 2 of Wands. This is making fresh new plans, not necessarily acting on them just yet, but it's like your mind is going, your imagination, you're planning, manifesting. This might be even, writing things down and to-do list, pros and cons list. You're leaving, this is really interesting. Cancer, you are leaving an immature energy of some sort. This energy might have been keeping you repressed in some way. And let me tell you what the cards are that tell me this. The Page of Wands in reverse. This is a bit of a dysfunctional energy. It's immature. Leave it at that. Leaving it behind. 8 of Cups. And it's not vindictive. It's not a vindictive energy. This is not like abandonment. This is simply there's something better out there for you. The 8 of Cups, at one point you really cared about whatever this was. The cups represent your emotions. But the back is turned to those cups. And now you're facing to the hills out yonder. And maybe there's greener pastures out there. You're willing to find out. It's like anything's probably better than this. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. This is already a really fascinating reading. We got a really loud bird in the background. I wonder what bird that is. Usually I can recognize them. I wonder what that is. 10 of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Got fresh and new energy. Ooh, transformation. This has got a little bit of a glow up message. If there is anything that is like, I don't know, sparks your fancy. Maybe it's a new band you're listening to. Maybe it's that wonderful nostalgia that's rolling in sometimes at this time of year. If it's a new outfit you want to try, there is this glow up energy where it's, it might specifically I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting excited. It might have something to do with a skill set or research, learning something new, because the Page of Pentacles, it talks about being a student, willing to kind of look at things from a beginner's standpoint. And this sparks a big transformation. Remember that this is all around family, relationships, alignments, harmony with relationships. So whatever you're learning, whatever you're being willing to research more or however you're growing is in the space of relationships. Maybe you're working on yourself, you know? You might be taking a look, fork in the road with the Seven of Pentacles, at everything you've created up until now. That could be even financially. Like, how are you investing into your dreams, your relationships? How are you investing into yourself as someone contributing to that? Anyway, you're going to get a real perspective here. It's a pause where you can get a chance to do some self-work. I'll just leave it at that. You guys, this is going to be an extended, I already know. So if you like longer readings, you like advice, that will be a link in the description box below. I don't always have time to do them, but I do today. And it's definitely going to be an extended. Now back to your reading. What's this Star card? Flipping but not flying. We got the Queen of Swords. King of Pentacles. What's this Star card? Why do I feel that this is it for big information based? God, there's this real strong energy throughout your reading of moving on. And it's almost sacred. It's not at all flaky. And you've got a real thread theme here around relationships. Who is this King of Pentacles? Ooh, flipped and turned upside down. Cutting your losses with an individual. This could be an earth sign, doesn't have to be. It could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. But the King of Pentacles is an interesting energy because it's very grounded, it's stubborn, it's practical, it's not emotional. And Cancer, you're a water baby. You feel everything. And sometimes we water babies hate that. Sometimes it feels like our strength is a weakness. Around this individual, you have felt like you've wobbled on that strength, literally the Strength card upside down. So whereas like you could act the same way around one of your friends or somebody, a cousin or a parent or somebody else, and you'd feel like who you were was absolutely wonderful and accepted and considered really strong or confident. There's something about this individual, they just don't see you. They don't see you. And it's almost like some of the things that you've deemed a strength with others or in the past, because they don't see it, it doesn't translate to them. If it introduces doubt for you, which is not healthy. And so there's this wonderful realization, this recovery from this energy with the Star card. That's what it is. It's like taking the high road, moving on, cutting one's losses. Five of Swords in reverse, like not letting this hold you up. Not, you know, when we can't figure something out, it has a way of working in the background. I know some of you guys are nodding right now to yourselves. It has a way of always being there, even when we don't realize it. It's usually when we're doing like mindless work, like washing dishes, or I play piano. Sometimes when I'm playing piano, I'll be working on something totally unrelated in the background. So these are the moments where it can kind of eat at you. And the cost of that is it can deplete your energy. It can distract you, right? It throws you off of your course, your focus. But no more. That's not happening anymore. It's not happening. And that's where the recovery is. This is where you're feeling seen for some reason. I don't know exactly why. All of you guys are going through different things. But there is a turning point. And I think it starts with you. I think it's like, you know what? You can't win them all. That is the Five of Swords in reverse. You're recognizing, man, the cost here is that it's making me doubt myself. And these are some beautiful things about myself. These are some really cool attributes of myself or characteristics that this person just doesn't see. And you're getting this epiphany, this realization that changes it all. The Ace of Swords is this aha moment. Maybe it stems from a communication of theirs. Maybe it's just like you're washing your hair one day and you have this epiphany in the shower. But either way, it puts to an end something with the Death card. I think a lot of you guys are realizing, now I don't even know what context this relationship is in, and it doesn't matter actually. I think there's this real solid moment where you realize this is done. And now this might have already happened in some of your lives, but you realize, okay, yeah, this is a horse of another color. This is just somebody who's never going to see me for who I am. And you know what? I'm effing fine with it. Let's move on. Let's move on already. And that's where this 3 of Wands comes. So now we've unpacked, I just gave you that whole storyline to unpack the meaning of this star card, this recovery, this grace after a tower or after a storm, right? This is the calm where the clouds part and the sun comes through, and it's a gentleness. And that gentleness has to do with self-acceptance. It has to do with acceptance of a situation. And it's absolutely freaking wonderful. So hats off to you. We're going to just keep that as a mess right there. And we're going to move on to your Lover's card. Sorry for any of my neat freaks suffering with this little pile. We're just doing it. Feels right. The Lover's card. What's this Lover's card? Nope, we're not doing that, Tarot. We're not doing a big chunk. You need specifics. Lover's card. I love this reading for you. It feels so good. Hanged Man. Hanged Man energy. So that's 2 major arcana messages. This is a big month for you because you're getting major arcana all over this, and then 10s, right? Aces, 10s. So there's something about a relationship. It took a damn while, but the Hanged Man is about sacrifice for a perspective. Once you gain that perspective, you'll never lose that perspective. You know, it's going to open your mind to all that glitters is not gold. What is imagined? What is for you? What is real? Some things we superimpose on life because we want them so badly, right? We've all been there. This could be with a relationship, right? There could have been aspects about this King of Pentacles. That man just looks so good on paper. Or you were just so attracted to them if it was romantic. Or, you can feel anything there. But this is like, all that glitters is not gold. 7 of Cups represents the world of decisions, choices, options, and illusions. So if you look closely in these cups, some of them are holding treasure, some of them are holding serpents. And so you've learned already, I think a lot of you guys have already learned this lesson. And so you're now, I think, getting the benefits in October of having learned that lesson. And I think it's pretty fresh for you guys. So, because this is all about moving on. We have moving on, 3 of Wands, moving on, 2 of Wands, moving on, 8 of Cups. So October is about moving on, obviously, but I feel like there's this pat on the back you can give yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if you got 9 of Cups, because that's like the major pat on the back card. Let's find out 2 of Wands. What's this 2 of Wands? I think you're going to be celebrated. You're going into a time, reaching a milestone. If you're getting invitations to any parties, you're going to say yes. I think this is moving on in a very fresh state of mind. That's why you've got that glow up energy. It's like, if you feel like you want to buy that weird pair of high-heeled moccasins, then do it. Or if you feel like you really want to pick up a new skill, then start working on it, because we got this, you're surrounded by other energies. You might be changing friend groups, changing your community somehow. 4 of Wands, I love seeing that card. I think of it so, whenever I see a 4 of Wands, I think of Cancer, because it does represent our stability in our home. And Cancers, you guys, your home is so important to you, right? So I feel this is very much, our home doesn't have to have, a ceiling, a floor, and 4 walls. Our home can be our community, right? So this stems out to our identity, our sense of identity within our community. What's this for? And it's it comes on the heels of some type of rejection that I think you've made towards something. You've been like, nope, I'm walking away from that. Yep. On the heels of this 4 of Cups rejection, just disinterest. It doesn't have to be hell no, I won't go. But it's just apathy. I'm no longer interested in this King of Pentacles and what they have to offer. I am no longer interested in somebody who does not see me for who I am. What comes on the heels of that is Page of Cups, which is magical, which is like really playful and kind of sparkly and fun. So lastly, before we go on to our extended, I want to find out about this interesting twist. And I think we've already unpacked it, like leading up to it. The Eight of Cups, leaving something behind here. It was an immaturity. I feel the impulse to ask about that immaturity. What about this immaturity do we need to know? This is around commitment. And man, there's a bad pattern there. There's a bad, maybe even behavioral pattern or addiction. Sometimes devil is addiction. It's not always addiction. In this case, I feel like it's a rigidity around keeping their mind open and what they're willing to commit and how they're willing to commit. Hierophant with the Page of Swords and the Devil. This is something that they got to work on. Cutting your losses. It's not personal. It's not personal. You're realizing it's not personal, but you have to look out for you. So that's what you're doing. Turning on your heel. Eight of Cups, moving towards those hills. What can I tell my Cancers about this? It's been a tough decision. Two of Swords. Boy, I always talk about the Judgment card this way, so forgive me if you've heard me talk about the analogy of crawling to walking, right? When we're crawling around on the ground and we're finding little interesting things on the floor, and this is our whole world. And then we see some kids running and jumping and playing and cartwheels and dancing, and we want to do that. How do you do that? Well, it means you're going to get some scrapes and bumps. It means you might fall down, you might cut yourself, you might twist an ankle, but is it worth it? Absolutely. And that's what this has been about. It was a tough decision. The Two of Swords, there might have even been a lull or a resistance. And sometimes it felt like maybe it wasn't even you. Sometimes it felt like it was outside influences. But either way, here you are. You have a brand new perspective on things. It's a fresh energy. You're starting to feel inspired. You're starting to feel new. And that's the Judgment card. This is going from crawling to walking. And it hasn't come without some scrapes and bruises. But like, you can't go back on that Death card with the Ace of Swords. You know something that you didn't know before. But you couldn't have just skipped to the end. You had to go through it. So there's your Nine of Cups. We'll see if it comes out next. And I'm waiting for that Nine of Cups because there's this real big, happy pat on the back that you deserve and that you're giving yourself. So congratulations, Cancer. I'm going to go to the extended. I hope that this was helpful. Please like and subscribe if you've not joined the family. It's a very loving one. And I'll talk to you soon.